The number of homeless in Guam is rising and continues to do so since the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hafaday, I'm Nick Delgado. You're watching The Hub, where America's stories begin. We spent time with the point-in-time count to get an idea of what's being done to help those who need it most. Asia Ramos is the chair of the Guam Homeless Coalition. Could we ever resolve homelessness on Guam?
I think that is a test for our community to answer that question. I alone can't answer that question. It's a community effort. And it's not just an effort of nonprofits and government. It's families who are affected. It's individuals who are affected. It's, a cousin that you may have, a relative. And so that is a question that our community has to answer. So I guess I would pose that question to our community. And to days like today, really kind of exemplify that effort. And I would say that we're headed in the direction of answering that step by step, because it's a monumental task, right, to end homelessness on our island and across the globe. And again, it's a question that our community has to answer, and I can't answer alone.
She's a social worker. Her involvement in helping those in need is more than just a job. It's a responsibility to give back.
It started with me with the children. And seeing children and the experiences they go through, whether in the school system, in our mental health system, in our child welfare system, who are affected by homelessness. And for me, how that impacts our future generations and our vulnerable populations, especially children, drives my passion to be a part of this. And through the work of West Care Pacific Islands, where I'm able to do that with our veterans, with the youth at Sanctuary, who was a part of West Care. It's kind of full circle. And when I started my career and seeing how homelessness affects the children that we work with, specifically in domestic violence shelters, and as a children's advocate, one of my first jobs was a children's advocate in a transitional housing program, and so sort of firsthand of the impact of how homelessness affects children's life. Full circle today, where I'm here as the chair of the Guam Homeless Coalition. The tipping point was like the kids who were sort of lost in the system, who maybe, the school lost contact because they're moving from place to place. So they're missing education. They fell out of services for counseling because they were transient, right? We couldn't find them, right? You're worried about what's happening with them. Are they getting the help that they need? Are they getting food at night? Is mom getting treatment, or dad getting treatment, or getting support? Are they in a safe space? When those questions go unanswered, it was really a concern for me. And so that was always sort of my biggest frustration is that gap and what happens to people when we no longer have contact.
An important mission. We meet up with her at the First Church of God in Barrigada before sunrise. The teams get ready for the day-long point-in-time homeless count.
So this is our home base, and this is really the hub of the logistics and the team that's going to be monitoring all the activities throughout the day. We have many teams out throughout our island, surveying and canvassing to engage with our homeless community and get some data, pass out food commodities, so that we have a good information on what is happening on the ground with our people who are living in homeless, who are homeless. And so as you can see here, I'll start here. This is where every volunteer comes in and they register. All of them have taken training. They've taken safety training. We talked about reporting training. We trained them in the surveys that they're going to conduct, and really just how the day is going to go. So our home base is the place where we receive people. They come in and they register, and then they get the supplies for the day. But what I'll point you to over here is this is the coverage of our island. And so it's broken down into different teams, and they started as early as 4 a.m., the first team coming through to start the first wave of canvassing for the day. And then we'll end in the evening time, and so our teams will be out there from, dusk till dawn, right?
Why so early?
Why so early? So we want to get out there just as the day is starting to really see people who might be sleeping, right, and see where they're sleeping, because in the mornings we oftentimes find that people kind of get up very, very early and they move on to their next spot or to the place where they receive their services and hang out for the day. So if we do it around 4 a.m., we're able to identify people where they're sleeping and kind of get an idea of maybe they weren't under that building or under that pavilion during the daytime in the morning where it's more visible, and we can identify people in places where we maybe didn't know. And these maps are developed from information from our community. So our Homeless Coalition works with mayors to kind of figure out where people are, because of course, as you know, they're the heart of the village, and so they oftentimes get reports of individuals, observation of individuals, and where they're sleeping. And then of course our service providers and government agencies who know where their clients are and can provide that information, and even citizens who spot people who are homeless or in need, or who are kind of walking and roaming the streets and they notice a pattern, will give us information, and we develop these maps. So, and you'll see the map as we go out with the team. But these are the teams that we have in place today, and they cover pretty much all the villages in Guam. Here is our home base, and these are all the volunteers, and today we have over 200 volunteers throughout the day who are going to be helping us out today.
That's more than you guys requested.
Right? Well, we requested about 300, and we were hoping, but to get there, we were just a little short, but still, that's a huge response from our community.
The work's still going to get done.
Oh, absolutely, the work's still going to get done. And the more volunteers every year that we get, you know, it helps with the efforts and our ability to canvass more thoroughly. So you and I today will be going out into the Jigo area. Right now we're assigned to Jigo 1 and 4, and if we're done with that, then hopefully we can help out at Gilbaza, which I know is a bigger area and might need a little more support. Okay? So you can kind of see the disbursement, right, of like where the smaller teams are and the bigger teams, and what areas have different breakdowns. So you can take a look at that. Right, right. Just a visual representation of where efforts are mostly focused, right?
It's mission control, with volunteers focused on the same goal.
My name is Keolani Claros, and I am with the University of Guam, a BSW student.
Why get involved in this effort?
My passion is social work, so I love helping people, and
Do we
yes.
have a homeless problem?
We definitely do. I mean, we see it. Oh, we definitely do. We see it when we, drive on the roads, or, just on the beaches on our island. It is. It's a big issue here in Guam.
Through your observation, what do you think has been the biggest delay in trying to help our people get off the streets?
That's a deep question. We need to go out and ask the question, whether, they're seeking help, or if they're, they're okay. Yes. Just be kind. Everybody, we must treat everybody with dignity and respect, and regardless of race or, whether they're homeless or not, they are humans just like us, and, we need to just treat everybody with respect.
Our tour around home base continues.
This is where the team leaders, every volunteer comes in and registers. And then we have the team leaders come and they pick up their maps. And so as you can see, just corresponding with what's on the wall back there, these are what we take out on the field, and the maps guide the team's direction for the day. Over here we have PPEs for those who would like. We like to have these on hand in the vehicles that are taken out, just to keep everything safe and to have as people need. Correct. So the team leader comes and collects this for their team. Over here is our data center, and so when the surveys come in, We have individuals who are manning it and reviewing the surveys to look at sort of the accuracy and where the errors might be, ask any questions from the team lead. And they sit down over here and it all kind of comes together. So we won't see this until later in the day because we collect the data when the teams start coming back.
Jane Flores, Director of Bureau of Women's Affairs, was also at home base, saying the response to the homeless situation has improved.
There are a lot of mental health issues. There are a lot of women who are homeless because of substance abuse, because there was sexual assault in their life that they couldn't get over with. And so I think if we focus more on the mental health issues that surround homelessness, we can alleviate a lot of it. But having said that, it is not a cut and dried issue. It's very complicated. A lot of these people have myriad things that have happened to them in their lives that they either are trying to deal with or struggling to deal with, or there's substance abuse, and that has just fried their brains. And so it's a very complicated issue.
What forces you to kind of react like that when you see them at your office and you want to help out or talk to them?
You want to help, and you realize that there are people that want to be helped, and then there are people that just want to live on the street. And no matter what you do to help, they're going to resist. And that's probably the most frustrating thing about being a member of the Homeless Coalition, is trying to help people, and then, the old saying is you can lead someone to help, but if they don't want to get the help, or there's some sort of block in their existence that won't allow them to, and there's so much complication to this issue, and it's not just, well, give them a home and do this and do this. That kind of attitude is not helpful. I can tell you that much.
Next on The Hub, where America's stories begin, we prepare to head out with the teams to begin the point-in-time count. The homeless count is centralized with officials and volunteers staying connected through WhatsApp.
So this is the area where we have constant monitoring of the teams. Our WhatsApp command center is always a person on this, and it's a communication hub for everybody who's out there who may need help, who may need a refill on supplies. We just want to make sure that everybody is safe and everybody is supported as they're out there canvassing and taking surveys.
It could get risky.
It could definitely get risky, and so we have backups, just making sure. So every 15 minutes, we want to make sure that we've checked in with the team. If they are not responding, then we go ahead and we call. And so we have a list of all the team leaders, everybody on the team, their phone numbers, and so that we have multiple ways of getting hold of people just to make sure that they're safe and they're supported. It could be something as simple as, needing a bag, needing more pens, needing more surveys. Somebody could get lost out there on some of the roads that we go through. Someone might get a flat tire. We don't know, kind of the situations that are happening, and we want to be able to support them as they're out there. All right, and it's we see Jen here from West Care who is on it, and that's it.
It's all hands to ensure safety for all involved.
That the Homeless Coalition, this is the most organized event that I have seen. So in that regard, we are on it. And Asia and Rob and the rest of the board have been doing a great job. So.
Thank you, Jane.
This they're organized at command center. Safety, it's better than I've ever seen it.
Well, it's a collaboration.
It's in the details.
Yeah, it's thank you, Jane. And it's although West Care is the lead agency, we're sort of charged with somehow we were the logistics committee and became the lead.
Yeah.
It is a.
It shows that passion.
Yeah. Well, it's a labor of love and huge collaboration, and kudos to all our community partners, Salvation Army, Gora, OHAP, Jibwick. We all came together to make this happen. So, okay, a lot of the back end planning. So once, yes, Nick, there's more. I think you'll get excited about the last part here.
Okay.
So volunteers and team leads come in, they get all the supplies they need, and then they come out here and really start to gather. As you can see here, we have teams who are gathering. They kind of make sure everybody is here. They get their team leads, give instructions for the day. And I want to introduce you to our host here.
Hello.
Pastor Ron, who you can just take a hit. So for this, we are at First Church of God, and Pastor Ron has been so gracious in offering the site here to host today, and it's the first time for him to host, and he's been amazing. You know, as I told Pastor Ron, how fitting that, you know, people are out here really doing God's work, and we're here at the First Church of Guam. So, all right.
A generous effort that involves others from the community to help those in need.
So what we have here are the food commodities and the hygiene supplies that we're dispersing today. A lot of this comes through donations. OHAP provided all of the food that we have in these bags today. And through generous donations of our community, we were able to add hygiene products onto this as well. And special shout out to the hygiene piece of this, because, you know, a lot of times our homeless individuals don't have things like toothbrushes and soap and whatnot, and it really, really helps. So our volunteers packed 500 bags in 2 days, and it was an amazing accomplishment on their end, and we're really excited to get these out there.
This is a great added incentive. So you're not
For
just
sure.
speaking with them to gather data, you're also giving back to show that we're really here to help.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely. And in fact, even if they don't take the survey, we still give the bags, because we know, you know what are we really doing if we're just out there collecting data? How are we helping? And this is one way that we are able to get that to them, regardless of them participating in the survey or not.
And that's good to note, is that they're not required to participate.
No,
just 'cause you
it's
happen
all
to come
voluntary.
across them.
Absolutely, it's all voluntary. And when you go out today and you see the approach that each volunteer takes with such compassion and kindness, they really get that feeling. Yeah. In addition to that, you can see on these bags here of community businesses and other organizations who are able to donate these bags. So we have some from Outrigger, Guam Preschool, Bank of Guam. So we're really, really thankful. And this is the community show of support. All right, so let's come out here. We have some snacks for our volunteers before they head out, because we know it's early, so we try and get some nourishment in. And this is the bag distribution point. So we have teams here carting the bags from outside, from the church out here. We've got our carts, and as volunteers pull up, they distribute the bags right here. And teams from here are off and running. All right, and these are our wonderful ladies who are our volunteers. This is Nick. All right.
Thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you for what you do too.
We'll walk this way. We've got traffic control. So we've got people out here who are part of our staff who also happens to be guard members, and so they're very skilled in directing traffic. We're lucky. We got smart. We're like, let's use people who know what they're doing to direct traffic. So this is the setup.
It's a mission and a labor of love to give back. Next on the hub, where America's stories begin, our team loads up supplies to get the count going in Jigo. Volunteers are seen across the island for this year's point-in-time count. Our group is tasked with surveying people in the Gilbaza area in Jigo.
We are out here kind of doing canvassing, and people might not think that our homeless communities live in, our neighborhood and village neighborhoods, but what you're going to find and what we're doing here predominantly are people who are living in, housing not meant or not suitable for human habitation. And as I briefed the team, we're looking for places that have roofs that are made of tarps, walls that, are made with pallets, they don't have windows, those types of conditions, those types of living conditions is what would fall under the category of homeless, and so we're out here in this area. Yeah. So what we're going to do right now is conduct surveys, and as you can see, we have our cars identified, and we just kind of start there.
And here we meet a household with more than a handful of families living on the property. We get the family's approval to capture.
So there's 6 families living here, right? 6. And you're the wife of one of the head of households? Okay. So wife. Gender 40 and Hanapan. Which one? SP is spouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then gender is woman, and then age is 40. And you were not in the military? No military, okay. Do you guys have any housing services? Meaning, are you guys on the waiting list for Section 8 or any for public housing? This is your permanent housing? Yes. Are any of you guys interested in permanent housing? Or this is you guys' permanent housing? Yes, only here? Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Many of the families we come across similarly share that they are satisfied with where they call home. Pearl Mesa is a program coordinator at Sanctuary.
So tell me what we were looking at there.
Oh, so this is a family here at Gilbaza. Of course, we ask them the questions if they're fleeing domestic violence, is there any drug abuse, and if they're waiting to be into permanent housing, how long they've been here. So as you see, the structure here is a household of 6 families, right? So they are interested in further help, but they're not interested in permanent housing. This is their home. So of course, we ask them the questions to let us know and to bring back to headquarters on how we could better improve their living situation.
And they accepted
Yes, they accepted our goodie bags.
All right, on to the next.
On to the next.
The team reviews after speaking with their first group.
In the past 3 years, has she been in an emergency shelter? No. Are they fleeing any of these things? Are they struggling with alcohol, drug abuse?
Yeah, they said no.
Right, they said no. And then over here is domestic violence. So they said 6 6 families living there, right? But we only saw 4,
Yeah,
right?
we only saw 4. They said the male household, he was at work.
So it's almost redundant. So on the next page.
It's vital information to help them figure out just how many living on Guam are in need of assistance.
This is Justin. He's our case manager over at the co-ed shelter of Sanctuary. So the rest of these members behind us, these are our new members for the Youth Action Board, who is part of the GYI team, the Guahan Youth Initiative, which is the latest program at Sanctuary. Okay, so this looks good, looks habitable. Please watch where you're walking. This is my 3rd pit count. 3rd pit count. First time being a team leader. Okay, see, this is a good example. Oh, they're trained.
The volunteers also face the unexpected during the count, but the work still gets done. We follow along for this family to document how the survey goes.
Good morning. Yeah, watch your step. Hi, good morning. We're from the Guam Homeless Coalition. We're going around doing surveys. We have some goodie bags for you guys. Can I ask you a few questions? Okay. Is this your first time being interviewed today? Is this your first time somebody coming here asking you questions? Okay. Are you the head of household? No, my husband. Your husband, okay. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? 55. And your nationality? Are you Ponapan, Chuukese? Yeah, Ponapan? Okay, Ponapan. Were you in the military? And is anyone else living with you? How many people live here? Okay, so you, your husband, your grand, and 2 more grand? So 5. So 6. 6 people? Okay. Is this your first time living here? Long time? Okay. How long have you lived here? More than 4 years? Okay, more than 4 years. Is anybody in your, Alex, maybe you could ask her, is anybody here have any struggling with alcohol, illegal drugs, disability, chronic illness? You have to see us in Ponapan? Is anybody struggling with alcohol, drug use, mental health issues, disability, or any type of physical illness?
I don't know, but only me, sometimes I sick, I go sick.
Okay. You always go hospital? No, just sometimes? Okay, okay. Okay. And what are the reasons that you're living here? Because it's affordable for you? Mm. Okay. Because it's rent to own? Okay. Are you interested in permanent housing? Like to get another place to stay? No. Because this one you're renting to own, right? Gilbaza? And you had 6 household members. Relationship, you are the spouse. Gender is woman, so it's number 2. 55. And this one is race and ethnicity. Ponapan. 7H, U.S. military, no. Active duty, no. And this one is, the third one is a little boy, grandson. GS. And then man, boy, and child. 1. How old is your grandson? 4. This is for head of household questions. Do you have physical disability? No. Developmental disability? Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 You have problems with alcohol, drugs. Okay, I think I asked you all the questions. You're not interested in a referral for permanent housing. And we have goodie bags. We have, give them 2. Thank you. You have a good day.
A few minutes later, and it's on to the next. More on why these volunteers get involved coming up on The Hub, where America's stories begin. The point-in-time homeless count is an all-day event. Pearl Mesa tells us why volunteers like her get involved.
What goes through your mind when you get involved in PIT and then you see just the living situations, the reality of what people
Yeah.
face?
Unfortunately, it's a harsh reality, right? Like, your heart goes out to these families, and you know what drives my passion to do this is knowing that I'm trying to give help to the community, right? Trying to better the community. Oh yeah, watch where you're walking. But yeah, I've been with Sanctuary for almost 4 years now, and I've seen a lot of success stories, and that continues to drive my passion to continue moving forward in what I do.
Do you think that we'll ever be able to solve the homeless problem on Guam?
You know what? We're taking the right steps to try to get there, but we do this every year. A lot of the houses, actually, since Mawar hit, have improved. I guess through FEMA. But yeah, this area, especially the Jigo area, they got hit the hardest. So you'll see some of them still haven't recovered from Mawar. But for the most part, like back there, that wasn't like that when we were here a couple of years ago. So it's nice to see the small improvements, but as you see, there's a lot. Yeah. I think, yeah, this is good, but over here, see like this, all the tarps, all the canopies, this one little area, you'll be surprised, there's like 6 families living there. Is this a new survey? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Gosh, reach out. We have plenty of resources. A lot of people are not aware of the resources that Guam has. So yeah, reach out to the different resources from, Sanctuary Catholic Social Services, Guam Homeless Coalition, the OHAP office, Guam Behavioral, and from there we could connect you to the different, fill out referrals and connect you to the different agencies that can probably help you and improve your state of living. Look at all these guard dogs. Good job, dogs. Hello. So scenic, as you can see, there's different houses in this one lot, meaning each house is probably going to have multiple families.
Even with potential language barriers and limitations, they do their best to work with all they come across.
In the house, only 5.
5, and then over there?
Over there, 8.
5 and 8, so that is 13.
So 13 people altogether?
Yeah.
That's a big family. How are you this morning? You're fine? That's good to hear.
And so you're not the head of household? You're not the you're not the one that's in charge of the houses, not you?
My brother.
Your brother? And how old are you?
I'm 56.
56. And you are Chukis. Chukis.
Have you ever served in the U.S. military?
Are you in the military? Yeah? No?
We join the group for one more visit before they continue on with the count for the day.
We have goodie bags for you. Here. Go ahead and give her those 2 bags.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, that concludes my questions.
Household was 13.
Yeah, there was 13. So, do you know how old everybody is that's staying here? You don't know? Okay. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, see, she wasn't able to communicate properly because she cannot understand, but she was able to answer the basic questions, right? Which is in the first page, but she said there's 13 people that live here. Do you know their ages? No, right? So this is gonna be left blank.
Okay.
But for the most part, at least we got 13 people living here. She's from Chuk and she's been here for 2 years. She's never stayed in a shelter. So it gives us an idea of, you know, the way they live. And you have power here? Power, water, and you have water. Okay, okay. And these, see their windows? It's just chicken coop wire, right? So it's not, and you guys don't, there's no door to your house? No? Okay. The typhoon? Blows it up. Okay. So she's saying that there's no door, no windows, all of that got blown because of the typhoon. So now they're using that kind of wire. Is called, you need to change the house. Yeah. So the rain is falling down inside. Okay, see, so is broken. And this is all from the typhoon. Okay. So there you have an understanding of how they're living. What she said, the windows and the doors, the typhoon blew, and the roof, when it rains, it leaks inside. And look at that. See, that roof is still tarp. So she said, this is family of 5, and that's family of 8. Goes inside your house. Okay. Oh, this is a church. This is a church? Yeah. Oh. Chuki's Church? Oh, okay, okay. Nice.
This was just a very small sample of the count conducted this year. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development required that a continuum of cares conduct an annual count of people experiencing homelessness who are sheltered in emergency shelters, transitional housing, and safe havens on a single night. The results are used to determine the needs to help the homeless population. That's it for this episode of The Hub, where America's stories begin. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.